The air was thick with expectation, heavy with the weight of generations, as the floodlights cut through the deepening twilight. For so many, football in England's northwest was not just a game, it was a way of life, a constant heartbeat in cities forged from industry and grit. We feel it, do not we, that pull to a team, that unspoken promise of glory or the quiet acceptance of struggle. If you enjoy stepping back into these football stories with me, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more documentaries like this. Today, we delve into the unique tapestry woven by two of football's most iconic clubs, Liverpool and Manchester United. Exploring how their rivalry grew into something far beyond mere sport, shaping the very identity of their cities and the English game itself. This is not just a tale of trophies or famous players, it is a profound journey into how geography, history, and a relentless pursuit of excellence created the most bitter, yet most defining, derby in world football. To truly understand this seismic clash, we must first journey back to the very foundations of these industrial powerhouses. Liverpool, a bustling port city, thrived on global trade, its docks once the gateway to an empire. Manchester, just 35 miles inland, became the world's first industrial city. A powerhouse of manufacturing, driven by the cotton mills and the ingenuity of its people. These were cities built on different economic engines, creating a sense of distinct identity. A quiet competition that simmered long before football entered the scene. The original rivalry was economic, a battle for supremacy in trade and commerce, setting the stage for a sporting antagonism that would soon eclipse all else. This story of fierce competition is underpinned by several key concepts that elevated the Liverpool versus Manchester United rivalry to legendary status. First, there is the undeniable geographical proximity, an easy distance that made travel for away fans a rite of passage, amplifying the direct confrontation. Second, the shared working-class roots of both fan bases meant football was always more than entertainment. It was a collective identity, a source of pride and defiance in often tough times. Third, and perhaps most importantly, we witnessed the sheer relentless success both clubs achieved, alternating periods of dominance that forced each city to constantly measure itself against the other. The very concept of greatness for one often came at the direct expense of the other, forging a competitive fire that burned across decades. The geographical proximity, the first cornerstone of this enduring rivalry, ensures that the comparison is not merely a matter of distant observation, but a daily, palpable reality. The cities, barely an hour's drive apart, are inexorably linked by shared motorways, rail lines, and the constant flow of people for work, family, or leisure. This closeness means that the triumphs and tribulations of one club are immediately felt and dissected by the other's fan base. A trophy won in one city casts a long shadow over the other, intensifying the desire for parity or, better yet, superiority. It's not enough for one club to be successful. They must also be seen to be more successful than their nearest neighbor. This creates an environment where every league position, every cup run, every transfer signing, and every controversial refereeing decision is scrutinized through the lens of the rival. Local newspapers dedicate columns not just to their own team, but to the perceived weaknesses or impending doom of the other, fueling a narrative of perpetual competition that extends far beyond the 90 minutes on the pitch. The very fabric of urban identity in both locations is interwoven with the fortunes of their respective football clubs, making the rivalry an intrinsic part of civic pride and individual identity. Children grow up not just supporting a team, but actively disliking the other, a sentiment often passed down through generations, not out of malice, but out of an ingrained understanding of what it means to belong. This deep-seated connection to identity is inextricably linked to the second crucial element, the socio-economic roots of both fan bases. As the industrial powerhouses of the 19th and early 20th centuries, these cities built their wealth and character on the bedrock of heavy industry, shipbuilding, manufacturing, textiles, and coal mining. These were hard, often dangerous professions that forged communities with strong bonds, a resilient spirit, and a deep appreciation for collective endeavor. When these traditional industries began their steep decline in the latter half of the 20th century, bringing with them widespread unemployment and social upheaval, football became more than just a pastime. It became a vital cultural anchor. It offered an escape from the harsh realities of economic austerity, a shared language of passion and hope, and a powerful symbol of defiance against adversity. The terraces became democratic spaces where workers, once united in factories and mines, could find a new sense of belonging and purpose. Success on the pitch offered a collective catharsis, a moment of unbridled joy and pride that transcended the daily struggles. To see your team lift a trophy, especially after enduring a tough season, was to experience a shared victory, a testament to the enduring spirit of the city and its people. This wasn't merely entertainment for the working class. It was an integral part of their social fabric, a conduit for their collective voice, and a testament to their resilience in the face of immense change. The club crest became a badge of honor, a defiant declaration of identity in times when traditional sources of pride were being eroded. Third, and arguably the most compelling aspect that elevates this from a mere regional spat to one of football's greatest narratives, is the sheer, relentless success both clubs achieved, alternating periods of dominance that forced each city to constantly measure itself against the other. This wasn't a rivalry between a perennial giant and a plucky underdog. It was a clash of titans, each capable of achieving sustained periods of unparalleled greatness. From the early 20th century, both clubs established themselves as formidable forces in English football. The post-war era saw the rivalry intensify as both teams built legendary squads, claiming league titles and domestic cups with impressive regularity. One decade, one club might dominate, building a dynasty that seemed insurmountable, only for the other to rise from its ashes, recruit shrewdly, and embark on its own golden era, often by dismantling the reigning champions. Think of the late 1960s and early 1970s, for instance, when managers Bill Shankly and Joe Mercer ignited what would become a golden age of tactical innovation and trophy accumulation. One team built a powerful, disciplined side, winning multiple league titles and cup competitions, establishing a fearsome reputation both at home and in Europe. As their power seemed to wane slightly, the other club, under astute leadership, began its own ascent, crafting a team known for its flair and attacking prowess, challenging for every major honor. This alternating current of success continued throughout the 1970s and into the 1980s, producing an astonishing array of silverware between them. Later, in the Premier League era, this pattern re-emerged with renewed vigor. One club, after a period of rebuilding, established an unprecedented era of dominance, setting new benchmarks for consistency and competitive excellence, not just in England but across Europe. Just as pundits began to declare them untouchable, the other, bolstered by significant investment and a revolutionary managerial vision, rose to challenge them directly, not just by winning trophies, but by doing so with a style and panache that captured global attention. This dynamic meant that neither city could ever truly rest on its laurels. The glory of one was always tempered by the awareness of the other's potential or actual success. A league title celebration in one city might be tinged with the knowledge that the rival had also recently lifted a cup or was poised to do so. This constant state of one-upmanship fueled an internal drive for excellence within each club, creating a virtuous, or vicious depending on your perspective, cycle of ambition. Managers and players understood that they weren't just competing against 18 or 19 other teams in the league, they were fundamentally measured against their nearest and dearest foe. The very concept of greatness for one often came at the direct expense of the other, forging a competitive fire that burned across decades, ensuring that this rivalry remains as intense and relevant today as it ever was. It is this unique blend of geographical closeness, shared socio-economic history, and sustained, high-level sporting achievement that elevates this particular rivalry beyond the ordinary, transforming it into a microcosm of football's enduring power and a testament to the unwavering spirit of its people. We had watched the journey unfold, the intricate dance of ambition and pressure, of fleeting moments that decided eternal legacies. Now, as the final whistle approached for our story, we arrive at the very heart of what made this saga resonate across the football world, examining its profound and lasting impact. This was never merely about a trophy or a league title. It was about the core philosophy that permeated every training session and every match day, creating something truly unique in the fabric of the game. The commitment to a specific style of play, a non-negotiable belief in how football should be contested, became the defining characteristic of that entire era. It was a vision championed from the very top, instilled in every player who wore the shirt, and embraced by the supporters who saw their own ideals reflected on the pitch. This unwavering devotion to an attacking, possession-based game, even in the face of setbacks, demanded a level of technical excellence and mental fortitude that few teams could sustain over a prolonged period. The detailed execution of this footballing philosophy offered countless examples of its brilliance and, at times, its vulnerability. Consider the midfield maestro, often playing as the deep-lying playmaker, whose every pass was a calculated risk and a potential opening, orchestrating moves with almost telepathic understanding. We saw the fullbacks, not just defenders, but crucial attacking outlets, overlapping constantly, providing width and delivering dangerous crosses that stretched opposition defenses to breaking point. There was the false nine, dropping deep, pulling central defenders out of position, creating space for surging wingers to exploit. One particular match against their fiercest rivals serves as a perfect illustration, a game where they were 2 goals down at halftime yet refused to abandon their principles. Instead, they doubled down on their possession, trusted their intricate passing triangles, and slowly, meticulously, broke down a resilient opponent. The eventual 3-2 victory, sealed in the dying minutes, was not just a testament to their fighting spirit, but a masterclass in staying true to their footballing identity when everything seemed lost. It showed the world that belief in a system, when executed with conviction and skill, could overcome even the most formidable challenges. The tactical innovation and the players' individual brilliance working in seamless concert created moments of pure magic, etching themselves into the collective memory of fans everywhere. Ultimately, the enduring legacy of this period extends far beyond the number of medals collected. It forged an unbreakable bond between a club, its players, and its community, built on shared values and a commitment to beauty in the game. It proved that success could be achieved without sacrificing artistry, that pragmatic results did not need to come at the expense of aesthetic pleasure. This era became a benchmark, a point of reference for future generations, inspiring countless coaches and players to reconsider how football could be played. The tactical shifts they initiated, the roles they redefined, and the talent they nurtured continue to influence football debates and youth academies decades later. While the players have long since retired and the stadiums may have undergone renovations, the echoes of their collective philosophy resonate still, reminding us that some achievements transcend mere victories, becoming immortal testaments to a beautiful game played with courage, conviction, and an unyielding commitment to a grand vision. If you lived through this era, how did it feel from the stands or from wherever you followed it? If you lived through that era, it wasn't merely a series of football matches, it was an unfolding drama, a weekly sermon, a national obsession that permeated every aspect of life. From the stands, or crowded around a grainy television set in a smoke-filled living room, it felt like witnessing history being forged in real time, a beautiful, exhilarating, and occasionally heartbreaking spectacle. The air on match days was thick with anticipation, a palpable current that ran through the city. Walking towards the stadium, you weren't just a spectator, you were part of a pilgrimage. The streets buzzed with the distinctive hum of thousands of conversations, punctuated by bursts of song, the rhythmic thumping of feet, and the scent of fried snacks mingling with the damp grass. Once inside, the stadium wasn't just concrete and steel, it was a living, breathing entity. The chant started as a murmur, then swelled into a deafening roar, a collective voice of thousands demanding brilliance. Then the players emerged, and a hush would fall, quickly replaced by a surge of excitement. Seeing them on the pitch, you didn't just see individuals, you saw a tapestry of movement, a symphony orchestrated by Rinus Michels and conducted on the field by the incomparable Johan Cruyff. What struck you most was the sheer audacity of it all. Defenders weren't just defenders, they were attackers in waiting, surging forward with a bravery that made your heart pound. Attackers weren't just waiting for the ball, they were tracking back, harassing opponents, a relentless, democratic pressing machine that suffocated the opposition. Cruyff, of course, was the incandescent star, a maestro whose every touch seemed to defy physics and logic. His turns, his feints, the way he seemed to have eyes in the back of his head, anticipating passes before they were even conceived, it was pure magic. But what made this team truly special was that he wasn't alone. Neeskens was the engine, a tireless force of nature who seemed to be everywhere at once, tackling, passing, scoring crucial goals. Rep, Krol, Hahn. Each player was a vital cog, not rigidly stuck in a position, but fluid, interchangeable, constantly shifting. You'd watch a defender like Ruud Krol dribble the length of the field and cross, or a midfielder like Wim van Hanegem spray passes with the precision of a surgeon, and you'd realize this wasn't just football, it was art in motion. The feeling was one of constant surprise and delight. A passing sequence would unfold, intricate and elegant, culminating in a sudden burst of speed and a clinical finish, and the entire stadium would erupt in a primal roar of joy. There were moments of despair, too, of course, missed chances, controversial referee decisions, the crushing weight of a crucial defeat. But even in loss, there was a sense of pride. They might have lost, but they lost playing their way, with conviction and an unwavering commitment to beauty. They never parked the bus. They always sought to dominate, to express themselves, to play the beautiful game on their own terms. Beyond the pitch, this team was a source of immense national pride, especially during a time of social and cultural upheaval. It was a reflection of a generation that valued freedom, creativity, and challenging established norms. The total football philosophy wasn't just about tactics, it was a metaphor for a new way of thinking, a progressive spirit that resonated deeply with the Dutch identity. Debates about the team's performance weren't confined to sports pages, they spilled into cafes, homes, and workplaces, becoming a barometer of the national mood. The players became icons, their names household words, their exploits etched into the collective memory. Their influence wasn't just immediate, it was a slow-burning fire that ignited innovation across the footballing world. Coaches from around the globe studied their methods, aspiring to replicate the fluidity and intelligence that defined their play. Youth academies began to rethink their approaches to player development, focusing more on versatility, tactical understanding, and technical skill over rigid positional training. The concept of a false nine, of defenders stepping into midfield, of goalkeepers acting as sweepers, elements that are now commonplace, found their foundational inspiration in this era. Even decades later, watching a top-tier team press high, interchange positions, and play out from the back, you can still trace the lineage directly back to the Dutch masters of the 70s. The impact of this era extends far beyond the trophies they won or the records they set. It fundamentally altered the discourse around football, elevating it from a simple contest of strength and speed to a canvas for artistic expression and intellectual strategy. It taught a generation of fans that football could be both devastatingly effective and breathtakingly beautiful simultaneously. It showed that courage wasn't just about tackling hard, but about taking risks, pushing boundaries, and believing in a grander vision. The echoes of their philosophy can be heard in every insightful tactical analysis, seen in every dynamic, free-flowing team, and felt in the hearts of those who continue to believe that football, at its best, is truly a game of unbridled joy and ingenious innovation. The legacy isn't merely historical, it's a living testament to what can be achieved when talent, vision, and collective belief converge. For those who witnessed it, it wasn't just a golden age, it was the golden age, a period when a small nation dared to redefine the world's most popular sport, leaving an indelible mark that continues to inspire. It was a time when football became more than a game. It became a philosophy, a culture, a way of life, forever etched in the annals of sporting greatness as the embodiment of courage, conviction, and an unwavering commitment to a beautiful game played with unmatched intelligence and style. The memories of those days, the roar of the crowd, the flash of orange jerseys, the sheer brilliance of a Cruyff turn remain as vivid and exhilarating today as they were half a century ago. They remind us that some achievements truly transcend mere victories, becoming immortal testaments to a beautiful game played with courage, conviction, and an unyielding commitment to a grand vision.